Okay, this is Moshe coming to you from Israel in the Galilee. Give you an evening update. We had a few hours of quiet, and then we had a lot of rocket barrage around 5 o'clock in the afternoon here. Mostly in the south of Israel. They did take one pot shot up at Tel Aviv. There was some minor injuries and some property damage. The invasion of Gaza has been postponed. They told us that there was some event that is causing a postponement, but they didn't name the event. I don't know what the event is, and it could be something that we all don't know, we wouldn't expect, but it could be they're waiting for more ships to come in. The Dwight D. Eisenhower is still way out in the Atlantic, and I figure it can cover at least 700 miles a day. So it's 2 or 3 days away, I guess. British Royal Navy ships are on the way, warships, and that's probably 4 or 5, 6 days away, something like that. America flew 3 refueling tanker planes into the theater. That's a war sign. They flew in another squadron of F-16s. I think that's about 24, 25, in addition to what they already had. Iran is still attacking American bases. There's 9 American bases in Iraq and Syria that were attacked a total of 14 times in the past several days, and Iran said they were going to do it, and they did it. Now, Biden is very concerned about getting the hostages out. They dropped leaflets in Gaza offering rewards, and they'll keep people safe, probably repopulate them someplace, if they could give good information as to where the hostages are and other facts about the hostages. Now, that could mean a lot of things. It could be a propaganda that we know where the hostages are and we're going to go in, and we don't want them to understand it. It could mean maybe we're trying to scare them so they'll relocate the hostages and we'll see them being relocated, which could be the case. If they're not in the tunnels. If they're in the tunnels, we probably won't see them. It could be real. We just want to see if we could get some informants to give us information. The chances of getting the hostages out is remote at best. They're never going to just turn over 200 and something hostages. What they're going to want is thousands, 4,000 or 5,000 terrorists, Muslim terrorists from their organizations and other organizations imprisoned in Israel for the crimes of terrorism, and they're going to want the fighting to stop in Gaza. Today I posted on Telegram pictures of fuel cells that Hamas has in Gaza, and they're screaming they're running out of fuel. Early this morning I posted a video of a hospital in Gaza that they said had no fuel and shut down, and it showed a doctor running around with a small child, and all the lights were inside the hospital were on. So the lies about the fuel are vast, and it looks like they've got pretty decent fuel supplies. Of course, we could blow the fuel up, I suppose, the supplies they have that are outside. How much fuel they have hidden in the tunnels and underground, I don't know. We don't know. If Israel is going to do this right, they'll cut the head off the snake, which is the one that's fueling and funding and motivating this and supplying them with weapons and arms, which is Iran, which is a massive undertaking, The people in Israel are dead bent and determined to eliminate Hamas out of Gaza. And every politician is saying the same thing. Every politician. Haaretz newspaper ran an article about there's some dissent in the Knesset. Not all the politicians are happy with the way Netanyahu is running the war. They said that Netanyahu does do what the military tells him to do. He listens to the military. Rockets keep coming in. Fighting with Lebanon. We're getting very, very effective at eliminating these terrorists in Lebanon near our border that are shooting these Coronet missiles at tanks and vehicles and troops. We're wiping them out pretty quick. As soon as they pop up, we wipe them out. We don't know how many miles of tunnels Hezbollah in Lebanon has. They got Gaza has 300 miles of tunnels. They might have 800. I don't know. We don't know. I mean, I assume the Israeli military has a pretty good idea. As of today, they started bombing entrances to tunnels in Gaza, which is going to be somewhat effective because it eliminates their, ability to go in and out of the tunnel at that entrance. If you get enough of those entrances, it's going to start hurting them. You got to remember that there's no shortage of air in Gaza, but they need air in the tunnel. And the way they got to get the air in the tunnel, to the best of my logic, is they need to have some type of a blower fan that needs power that's pumping the air in some sort of conduit or pipe or something down into the tunnel. And if you got 300 miles of tunnels, you probably got, 100 of these generators or more, And they're either running on diesel, which means they're going to make a noise, and the generator pretty much, I think, has to be above ground to supply the fans. Now, there might be a chance that they have these fans in the tunnels that are trying to suck the air through a pipe, and they're running on electricity, so there's no dangerous fumes in the tunnels. Then hitting the generators would be very difficult. However, if you find the pipes, to put it in simplistic terms, you could shove a couple old T-shirts in there and they'd have no air, all right? I'm being overly simplistic. So once we find the air ducts and we find the whatever's giving it the power to suck the air in or blow the air in, they don't have air. And then when they don't have air, it's going to come to a rapid end pretty quick. And that's one of the advantages of a ground invasion, and that's not going to happen with aircraft very easily, or it would have happened already. The Israel government is not playing games with them when they're bombing. They're pretty darn serious, okay? The places, whole neighborhoods are devastated, See, the other problem that the America might be looking at, and the EU and stuff like that, we're in day 18. Another 2 weeks of this, how much of Gaza is going to be left? So how are the people from Gaza going to return? Return to what? Rubble? No electricity, no sewage, no water, no power, What are they going to do? Spend, $3 billion a month and start rebuilding it? That'll take years. What are they going to do? Israel said now we're going to permanently close any border crossings from Gaza into Israel, and there's not going to be any work permits because it came out that some of these workers were spying for Hamas. So that is going to end, but the UN and the other countries, the EU and all that, will give money to Gaza. So basically, the population of Gaza that remains there will be on welfare. So what do? They'll go to the mosque every day. They'll go hang out in the market, drink coffees and espressos, talk with each other, go home and eat, take a nap. What are they going to do? Shops will open. They'll have funding for people They'll want to become merchants, but it's going to be a real disaster. They might not, the Gaza people may not come back. What do they got to come back to? So, it looks to me that America is trying to do some things with diplomacy, and it just doesn't seem to work. They tried diplomacy with Hezbollah. They tried threatening Hezbollah with aircraft carriers on down the line. American jets flying over Lebanon and everything else. And did that work? No. The mindset of these terrorists in the Middle East is, okay, you got aircraft carriers and planes, but you're afraid to use it. You're afraid of us. So we'll keep doing what we want to destroy you until you leave the Middle East. If you have all these assets and you weren't afraid to use them against us, you'd use them. That's how they think. And the actions of what's going on in the Middle East explain this line of thinking, Beulah's convinced there's a Hamas dog in the neighborhood. So that's why she's barking. So, other than that, we got plenty of food in our stores and everything's working, and the poor people in the south and Ashdod and Ashkelon and Tel Aviv are suffering time in the shelters and everything. It's tensions are high here. Politicians are starting to turn on Netanyahu. The Labor Party said he should be removed immediately. So dissent in the Knesset is there, but they're trying to contain it to go in a united front with the war. But you see, this mess with Gaza and Hamas isn't going to stop till we have a ground invasion. And that keeps getting delayed. And the people of Israel, their patience is wearing out. Some days 300 rockets, some days 200. Why should we live like that? The Israeli military is quite well aware of the fact that the chances of getting the hostages back is rather remote. They're probably in the tunnels. They may not be, and they're going to probably be in 10 or 20 locations. And they could put suicide bomb vests on these people. They push a detonator and the people are gone. They could have them locked in a secure room with 2 or 3 guys with AK-47s and give them the signal, they just shoot them down. I mean, they could get on the public, social media and do cruelty murders of them on camera and put it up on social media and say Israel's the cause or America's the cause. And I don't think Biden wants that. I don't know how he's going to get the hostages out. It's a really, really, really hard thing to do, especially when you're dealing with very experienced, seasoned terrorists. Very, very hard. It's not going to be like a Hollywood movie where they're going to kick the door and shoot the terrorists before they could kill the hostages. You can forget that. Hamas is extremely well prepared for that. So that's what we got, and I'll keep doing updates on YouTube, and my Telegram channel is really, if you want to follow the war, that's where you should go. I do updates at least 100 times a day, and I tie it to Bible prophecy, and I do commentaries. You just send me an email. My email address is at the bottom of the description box. They'll calm down in a sec. Bottom of the description box is israelgiving with the number 7 at Gmail. Israelgiving with the number 7 at gmail.com. Just put Telegram in the subject header, and I'll send you the invite link. And it's all free. You got to download Telegram Messenger, the app. The dogs are driving me crazy. Please pray for me, Moshe, my wife, Rivka. Pray we don't have to go in the bomb shelters. Pray for our peace, safety, protection, and joy. Pray for the animals and pets. Pray for the dogs to calm down. And I send my shalom to all those who love Yeshua HaMashiach, and I'm out. Thanks.